Hey everyone, how are you all? In the previous video, we have got to know about how to build a simple fast API web application. So adding to that, in today's video, we are going to learn about how to perform CRUD operations on the fast API web application and also how to store data on the website itself directly, which will not be stored just on the website, just for that operation only. And later the data will be erased. And if you close the application, you need to store the data again for the second time. So just to store the data, just to perform the CRUD operations, we are going to know in this video. So first, while I am forcing or stressing on the word CRUD, let us know about what are CRUD operations. What are CRUD operations? So you have seen the word CRUD operations, CRUD. So within the computer programming, CRUD stands for create, read, update, and delete. So C for create, R for read, U for update, and D for delete. Each of the letter has their own basic functions, as I have said, create, read, update, and delete. As you can see here, so for create, we have method called post, and for read, we have method called get, which will get the data and we can read the data. For you, we have method called put. We have only used put here, and there will be also something called patch. And for delete directly, you can see dot delete method. So these are the four operations or methods that CRUD have. So this is the basic information about CRUD. CRUD is data oriented and the standardized version use of the HTTP action verbs. So CRUD uses HTTP actions or the SQL statements to perform the operations. So this is all about CRUD. Moving forward to the code or the video that we were discussing about, we are going to perform the CRUD operations on the fast API web application. So the first step that we already know is to create the virtual environment. Before that, let me explain you the code clearly. We have Fast API and we have Pydantic, which is a part of Fast API. From Pydantic, we have imported the base model, and from Fast API, we have imported Fast API and HTTP exception for performing the CRUD operations. Here we have defined fast API app, and the initial data, which is sample data, we have taken three uh, entries. 1 2 3 are IDs. Item 1 2 3 are the data that we have taken. We have defined the base model and going to CRUD operations. Now here we will know something which is called the endpoints. So what are endpoints and how to define the endpoints? So at the rate app.post, at the rate app.get, app.get, put, app.delete are the endpoints in this code. So API endpoint is a specific location within the API that accepts requests and sends back the responses. It will be different for different systems, and it is a process to communicate between the applications. So consider now we are communicating with the website from the code or the data or the external application in which we are inputting the data. So endpoints take the instructions. So as we have already discussed about the CRUD operations, so endpoints takes it from there. Here app.post slash items is one endpoint, get is one endpoint, put is one endpoint, and delete is one endpoint. So this is about what are endpoints and how to define endpoints. So after defining the base model and after discussing about the CRUD operations, where post will post the data, create the data, get will get the data, that means we'll read the data, put will update the data, and delete will completely delete the item. So this is about the code that we have written here. So as we know, the first step that we have to do is to create the virtual environment. So how to create the virtual environment? To know it, first check the execution policy of the terminal that we are working on. So if it is restricted, we need to set the execution policy to remote signed. So I am doing it now. Execution policy remote signed. It is set to remote signed. To check it, get execution policy. You can see here it is remote signed. And the last but one step that we have is to define Python dash m vnv. So it will create the virtual environment folder. As you can see here, this creates the virtual environment folder. So once this code is executed, we can go for the last step of creating the virtual environment. So it will take some time to execute this command. As you can see, these all are getting created. So now we will execute the scripts to create the virtual environment in the terminal. We think that we have all the libraries directly in the computer. I'll discuss about it. And the last step is to vnv script dash activate. This creates the virtual environment. There is some error here. So there is some error in the spelling. Removing this I will give the output. The virtual environment is created. Now, once the virtual environment is created, we need to install the requirements for the code that we are running, that is to build, perform CRUD operations in the Fast API. We need to install Fast API, and we obviously need to install UVcorn as well. Pip install Fast API. It will download all the requirements. Pydantic Core, Starlet, Pydantic, and Fast API have been installing into our virtual environment. Once it is done, we need to install UVcorn, which helps to run the web application, Fast API web application. Yes, it is also running. UVcorn is installing and done. Once it is done, we need to run the Fast API application using this command, UVcorn main app dash dash reload. So the virtual environment is created here, and the name of the file that we were running is main, as you can see here. So this is the command UVcorn file name app dash dash reload. So the file name is main, and hit enter will run the web application. So as you can see here, this is saying detail not found. Yes. So one thing that we have missed here to discuss is we have created the endpoints with the name items slash items. So slash items will give the endpoints of the web application. So if we have checked with slash items slash item slash, yes, name item 1, item 2, and item 3. That is what the data that we have taken. And to perform the CRUD operations here, we need to use either the Swagger UI that I'll show now. This is the Swagger UI where we can perform the operations easily. This is by default given in the Fast API application. So get, post, put, and delete. We can directly perform here. I'll show you how. Let's work on delete operation. And if we click try it out, let's give item ID number 3 and click execute. So this will work. Name item 3 will be deleted. To check it, let's go back. Let's go back to our basic items. Yes, here you can see item 3 is deleted. So let's go in a way, in a format. For this, I have used Postman. I'll use Postman normally. Uh, we can use Swagger UI as well, but normally I'll use Postman. Let's check if it is opening or not. It will take some time to open. So discussing about Postman. Postman is a standalone software testing application programming interface platform to build, test, design, modify, and document the APIs. We can do all these things in Postman directly. It is one of the most used tool for developing backend applications. So for this, we need to take this URL, copy it, and paste it here in the URL place. So you can see here, these are all the applications that we can directly perform from Postman. Let's start with creating, that is post. So for posting, we need to give the URL, then go to body, and here what we have to write is based on the code or the format that we have defined, we have to write it id and integer, comma, name, and string. So in this format we have to create the data in the Postman. So first is id, integer, comma, name, and string, which is Jagdik in this case. So name Jagdik is created. Let's create another one in the name of id5, that is Raju. Create, done. So now creating is done. Let's read it, which is update. Sorry, which is get. Here you can see name item 1, name Jagadik, name Raju, name item 2. Everything is given. And the third operation that we can do here is, before going to the third one, we can directly get the item individually. Yes, I have given item ID here, and I have got the details of the item here. So moving on to the third one, create, read, and update, which is put in this case. We can update it directly by giving item ID here first in the URL, and then item ID here, and then let's give another name, which is, let's give a unique one, Ganesh. Let's see if we'll get updated or not. Yes, it is updated. To check it, let's go back to the application, to the browser directly, and then search for item ID 2. Let's see what will it give. It is Ganesh. It is updated. Now let's check all the items that we have given without giving any unique ID. Item 1, Ganesh, Jagadik, which is item 4, item ID 4, and Raju, which is item ID 5. So now you can ask me the question why item ID 3 is missing. Let's see if item ID 3 is there or not. Let's see if it works. Okay, I am using the wrong one. Let's see if item ID 3 is available or not using the get method, that is the read method. It is. So yeah, let's see for item ID 3. Item ID 3 got updated as well. Item 2 is updated as well. 1 is item 1, 4 is Raju, and 5 is item not found. So item number 5 is item not found. Item not found. So here we have performed all the 3 operations, and the last thing that is left is to delete. Before deleting, let's see what data do we have to delete so that we can know what to delete. Name item 1, name Ganesh, and name Raju. Here we have 2 Ganesh. So let's delete one of it using this one, delete operation. I consider Ganesh is in item number 3, and we don't need to write any data here. to delete it because giving item ID here directly will delete the data. So let's see, name Ganesh is deleted. So let's check if it has been deleted or not using the get method. First, let's check the entire data. Yes, here we can see we only have one Ganesh. To reconfirm it, let's check if item ID 3 is available or not. Detail item not found. So yes, we can confirm that it is deleted. So now, can I update or post any data in item ID 3? Let's check it. Let's try to post in item ID number 3 by writing some data of giving some animal name. First we need to write ID, then ID will be 3 and the name which is in the format of string. String can be blue whale. Let's move forward. It is saying that item ID 3 is updated. Let's check if the name blue whale is updated or not. Yes, blue whale is updated, but not sure if it is item ID 3 or not. So let's directly check if it is updated in 3 or not. No, it is not updated in item ID 3. Why? What is the reason? We have deleted item number ID number 3, and once if we have deleted it, we can't retrieve it back at any cost unless and until we have a backup. We will not get the data once deleted, and even we can't get back the data that we have deleted and can't post a new data in the particular ID that we have deleted. In this case, we have deleted 3 and we can't post any kind of data in item 3. So this is one of the things that we have to keep in mind while performing CRUD operations in the backend API applications. Once the data is deleted, first thing, we can't get back the data, and second thing, we can't post or put any other data in the item ID that we have deleted. For one last time, let's check all the items that we have here. Item 1, Ganesh, Raju and Blue Whale. As name Jagadek is also deleted and one of the Ganesh in the entire data is deleted, we are left with one Ganesh and Jagadek's name is also deleted. So in this way, we perform CRUD operations with fast API application in the backend part. In the coming videos, let us discuss about storing the data in PostgreSQL also. In this video, we have only discussed how to create or how to store the data dynamically only on the website, not in any of the backend applications. One thing that you have to remember is while the process is done, let's close it and deactivate the virtual environment. And you can also do one thing, the execution policy will be remote signed. You can also change it to restricted for security purposes. So here we have remote sign. I am leaving it as it is. So you can also change it to the security purposes. So in this way, we perform CRUD operations using fast API, which is application programming interface. So I hope this is understandable and clear for all of you. If you have any doubts, please feel free to ask me in the comment section or any of the social media that you are following me in. So thank you so much for your patience. See you in the next video. Take care. Bye.